Hey, this is Clocking In, where we clock in with local jobs in Malaysia to get a behind-the-scenes experience on what these jobs are all about. I'm your host, Michelle, and it's time to clock in.
Hey guys, today we'll be clocking in with Zlwin, a professional magician from Madgician. Magicians are essentially people who are in the industry of entertaining people with tricks and sleight of hand. So let's go clock in.
My full name is Zlwin Weng Rin. I started magic about 11 years ago, and the magician, for the word MAD, it stands for making a difference. We are a group of very passionate and enthusiastic magicians coming together and using magic to make a difference. We first have to, of course, check out the venue and see whether if it's suitable or not. We go and see the managers, we'll go and check out the venue, and then from there, we'll come back in the office and we'll talk. They will send us the measurements and everything, and then we'll decide what acts to do. We make sure we are prepared before we even start the rehearsal or go and load in. From setting up the stage, arranging the props, and then cueing the music and working the lights, that took 12 hours alone. But that's talking about theatre show. And then mostly all our props are stored in cases like this, huge flight cases, and that's where we put our props in there, and then we carry the flight cases over there. From the preparation of the prop, packing the prop in our workshop, mending it, checking everything, and then loading it into the truck and lorry, bringing it to the venue and setting up everything from the start to the end. We are involved in everything.
So what are some of the issues that could come up when you are setting up for different venues?
It's different. Every venue, especially the ones in Malaysia. I'm not talking about the ones in a cruise ship. Cruise ships are quite standard, but the ones in Malaysia are tough because almost all the shows we do are on stages which are set up specifically for the event. So they might have some decor stuff here, they might have some props here and there that will obstruct our movement of props. Let's say the door here is such a small side wing. It's impossible to carefully push out a prop which is much bigger than the size of the door. So we need to know what is the size of the stage wing. Because if the size of the stage wing is smaller, then sometimes it will affect us even in the production of the show. That we cannot do this act because we cannot move the prop out of the wing.
What do you do to sort of prepare for a show?
For example, the show is 8 p.m. today. I'm already ready by 10 a.m. to leave the house and get ready and everything. Working of my props, the methods of the skills and things that I've learned with the hands, and I need to know the music cues. I need to be aware of lighting. Like for example, if the light is shooting here, I need to stay here and not go out of the light, otherwise it won't catch me. I need to be able to read the audience, to know which are the audience who might be cooperative and come up on stage with me and do it together. As I talk, I look at audience, study them, know my lighting, know my music, and work my props. My mind is on overdrive. I'm thinking about at least 10 different things in 1 second. Close to the show, like 1, 2 or 3 hours of the show, I prefer to be very silent. Sometimes it looks angry, but it's not. It's just me getting into the zone, just getting ready. And I keep from eating actually. If I eat a lot, I get butterflies in the stomach, especially if you're doing a show, so that's not good.
Could you share maybe some stories of maybe times that you have been in danger or your crew has been in danger?
In the recent show that we did, something bad really happened and my wife fell off and hurt her leg really badly with a big bruise over there. And that was a finale of the show as well. The dangers in magic is real. And in my shows, we are trained to know which are the dangerous acts and which can possibly go wrong. We look out for that. Yeah. And also there's an act that we do where we have paper bags on the table, and each paper bag is empty except for one with a nail, a very sharp nail. And we smash our hand through as the audience tells us which bag to smash. So that has real danger in it, because if you were to easily look on YouTube, you will see at least 10 different videos of real life magician when they smash, it goes through, or the audience hand smashing it. If there's a trick that really goes from that we really can't save, we do a blackout the whole stage, and the crew will quickly come in and move everything, and then we continue with the show.
How do you then train for something like that?
For how we practice for an act, first we learn how to work that act with the methods and everything. So we practice the methods first. So we are good with method. Now we sit down and we write the script for the method. And then we practice the script. Then we join both together. And once we are good with that, then we think about the lighting. Then we think about the music. So it's one step at a time process. Once I've already created the act with the music and the lights and knowing every script and prop, I bring it on stage, I put it into a part of my show and I test it out, I try it. At this moment, if I want to learn some acts, I can learn it over in 1 hour because some of the skills I've already acquired through the years, so therefore it's easy for me. However, some will take a month, a year, 3 years, so there's no one specific timeline to create an act.
If you don't have a prop that is necessary for that idea, then what happens?
Then it's either I build it or I purchase it or find other ways to achieve a different kind of act but still having the same theme. Because there are two different kind of magicians. One kind of magician is they just buy whatever that's out in the market, they use all these things and they create their own show. Another kind of magician is they see what's out there and then they make their own prop, they create and they try to improvise on that prop instead of just buying off the market, you know.
Okay, so there's like been way too much information and I'm sure you need to go get ready, we need to go get changed as well. So let's go get changed and yeah, prepare for the show.
See you there.
And without further ado, why don't we put our hands together to welcome our clang boy from Taman Chiliong, Zlwin Chu!
Change into the bottle and the bottle immediately change into the glass just like that. However you want it, and you come prepared with one extra bottle, otherwise magic wouldn't work. You see, everyone magic brings two together, magic of course, two the glass and the bottle, change places, it works, you change places like that. Wow, wonderful. Go to prepare extra bottle. And know that we are all capable of putting our lives back on.
So we've attended the performance. Now we're at Zlwin's office to find out a bit more about the career and their day-to-day activities. So Zlwin, could you tell us a bit more about what you do when you're not performing, when you're in the office?
We start coming to the office at 10:30 and we end at 6 or 7 p.m. When we are in the office, we do many things from editing photos, editing videos, building props, repairing props, or practicing magic.
What is the pre-production planning for you as a magician?
Normally, the first thing we do is put together a show flow. A show flow is basically how you want to start the show, with what effect or what acts you want to start it, and then continue with what act, and then end it with which act. And when we look at the flow, we want to look at how well you start the show and how well you end it as well. And then we come back, we gather together and we talk about what acts can we do. And then we assign tasks to different team members. For example, Carmen will do the lights and sound, Josephine will be in charge of the prop management and the stage manager. Josephine, Carmen and Kelvin, the three of them, talks with the clients and discuss projects and all. And after that is done, the magicians will practice on our own. And then during show day or setup day, everyone will go together and do whatever they assign.
Lunch break!
Yes!
Yes, okay. Almost spilled the food inside. Guys, Zlwin made the food disappear.
I got tissue.
So what is the rough salary range for a magician such as yourself?
Every magician, we have different fee that we charge our client. We don't have a so-called salary range. My fee, I charge clients 4,000 and above, depending on what they want. If they want a simple stage show, that will start at 4, 5, 6,000. For the illusion show, where we need all these big cases and all, we'll start at 10,000 and sometimes even ranges up to 20,000.
Break's over!
All right, throw the camera. Boom! I hit the camera.
As far as I understand, there are different types of magicians. Could you maybe share with us or illustrate the different types of magicians that are out there?
There are magicians who does mentalism only. And mentalism has to do with mind magic, where they do predictions, they do mind reading kind of acts or thought control kind of thing. And then there are magicians who just does purely comedy magic, so their style is always laughter and fun. And then there are magicians who only deals with big props, appearing people from nowhere, chopping a lady in half. So those are the illusionists. I fall under many different categories. Sometimes I do a purely mentalism show. Sometimes I do the big illusions, and sometimes I just do purely comedy style.
Is it normal for other magicians to sort of overlap like you do?
Really depends. There's so many kind of magicians out there. There are magicians who does a lot of this, and many also just focus purely on one form. Magic is a big world. We don't just consist of people who perform. Illusion designers are the people who think of concept. So I have the idea. I will bring this idea to the illusion designer. He will think of how that can be done. So he will draw out the blueprint, and then this blueprint is sent to another group of people. So the illusion builders will take these blueprints and build the chair and build the table. They know how to view a concept and then bring it into reality by building the props like this and that and the things you see behind.
So Zlwin, you started your career off as a resident magician at Zouk.
Yes.
Is that usually the case for everybody?
It's not usually the case for everyone. This is only because it provides me a weekly platform to exercise, to learn new things and then bring it to the field and try it out. Whereas many magicians, they have different ways of starting out and growing their career. It helps to have a manager once you are getting more and more bookings, because you don't have to front the clients. That way the magician can focus only on his art. Because to deal with the business side of magic, to front the clients and to cut deals and everything, it's really very tough.
So what are the common misconceptions that people have about magicians?
People often think of us magicians as merely just tricksters with a deck of cards, like, hey, pick a card, that kind of thing. They don't see us as someone similar to a producer or movie director. They don't elevate us to that status. So that's a misconception people think, because magic is not just about trickery. As you will have already found out, it's not just about performing a trick. There's so much thought process and work goes behind creating an effect that makes us artists, not just tricksters.
Where would you see the future of Malaysia headed? Do you think there'll be more companies coming up like this?
I do hope that it will grow better and better, and looking at how magic has been widely accepted in today's culture, the only way for magic now is actually just going up and up. So I can see it growing very much here in Malaysia and around the world.
Well, I think that's all for today. Thank you so much, Zlwin, for allowing us to clock in with you. Are there any last words that you would like to say to our audience watching?
Don't do drugs, do magic.
Sometimes we think of magicians as just performers, but they're not as one-dimensional as we think. There are so many hats and different roles that they have to put on, such as being an engineer, a carpenter, a networker, a creative, and a performer. And I think it's great that they're getting more acceptance and more appreciation for their career, because there's so many things that go into just one magic trick. So that's all from me for today. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit that bell icon for any upcoming notifications, and like and follow us on our Facebook page. This is Michelle clocking out. But before I go, for my final act, I'm gonna make myself disappear. Look, what's that? Is it still rolling? Hello? Guys, I think it has ants.